Hey guys, Jason here for Chart Guys. We're going to try something new. A lot of times in the Chart Guys, well, pretty much all the time in the Chart Guys, because this is what we do. We talk about trades and we talk about setups. We never tell you what to buy. We tell you what we see, and a lot of people share different setups and different plays and a lot of chart talk, and people make decisions and trades based on that content. So what I'm going to do is try and walk through some of the cool trades that we saw our members talking about and we shared inside the group that really resulted in great profitable opportunities, so you can sort of learn about what we do, how we do it, and how you can utilize that information. So one of the things that we shared today was by our lovely member, Sarah Chartslayer, who found this great 5-minute EQ, and it resulted in a really nice trade. So I'm going to walk through this, and we're going to do a few of these today and see how it goes. If it's helpful, we'll keep on doing it. So on SE, a 5-minute time frame, right away we saw a lot of volatility out of the gate, 33.88 all the way down to 31.50. Then we started to see some bouncing. And really, once you get to 32.56 and start to pull back, that's when you start to look at the fact that we've got a few key levels here. We've established our high, we've bounced back and forth, and we get in 32.56, and we start pulling down again. That tells you that you are in an area of equilibrium. We're getting a tightening range. And the tightening range is really the most important key aspect of the equilibrium pattern. So right around this time, Sarah posted this trade and said, look, we got a 5-minute EQ, it's really tight, and it executed perfectly. So the actionable signal on this was going to be the break of 32.56. We break outside that pattern. You can see that volume pick up really nicely here. And the most beautiful part about this was there was two opportunities. One on the break of 32.56, and the second was this back test of 33 psychological level as support. We come up, we test that, minimal volume, it holds and continues up, hitting a high of 33.97, well over our support at 33.88. So it was a good break. At a $10,000 position on the break of the EQ, that was a $433 move. So a good 4.5% and change. Nice move on SC. Excellent EQ setup, recognizing the EQ early and jumping on that break on good volume was just textbook. Absolutely beautiful. And thanks to Sarah, a lot of people were able to get in on that action. It's all about eyes on the charts and having 1,000 people helping you find and scan through charts. These are the setups that you find, and that's why the community is great. So let's go on to the next one. Now we're going to look at TNDM, 5-minute bulls strong right out of the gate, 61.91 to support at 61.09. We get a higher high, we come back down looking for a potential higher low, but instead we get this nice double bottom. Double bottoms are nice to trade on because they give you a clear level of support, and if you lose that level, you know the trend's going to go your way. So you can try to get an entry right in here or right after you bounce off that level and look for continuation to the upside. So 61.09 is going to be your entry, that target area, and then if you break that level 61.07 or something, that means you're going to stop out because that trade's not going your way. And we get in that nice little bull move. We see an uptick in bull volume. The 5-minute trend remains intact until we lose it over here with a loss of our low at 61.66. So probably about a 1.2% gain, which is pretty good. $10,000 position, you're probably looking at what, 150 bucks. So not a terrible trade, but a very nice execution off the double bottom that we shared in our channel. And just absolutely wonderful to see these sort of things being shared and people being able to profit above them together. Looking at AMD now, this is a nice 5-minute trade. Early in the morning, around 9 o'clock, we saw this high at 30.94. We saw a pullback, and we saw us hold that EMA 12 support, but we didn't get a higher high before the bulls were able to, or sorry, the bears were able to push down a little bit here. We set a new low, 30.77, and looking at this level, we knew that we had to break the high of this initial push in order for us to see more bullish action. It wasn't about 30.94. It was about how high the bulls could get on their next attempt. It's all about the balance, pushing back and forth, and in this case, the bulls were not able to push to get up above 30.94 before the bears answered back. We got a new low. So I sent a little message out to the community and I said, watch out for AMD. If we get over 30.91, that means that the bulls are having a resurgence of energy and the bears don't actually have control of the situation. So we see some low volume develop here. Finally, the volume really picks up. We break 30.91 and we get all the way up to 31.27 before seeing a little bit of pullback. And you know what? We still hold that 5-minute trend. We see a new base of support at 31.03, and then we get a new high a day, 31.31, before we see that 2-minute trend change with our loss of the low over here at 31.20. So nice little area consolidation, some key levels for us, watching that volume and watching that break, a very good actionable signal. And it's all about these key levels and the volume. It's all technical analysis. So let's move on to the next one. These are a lot of fun. I like these. So taking a look at TEVA now on the 5-minute time frame. And around 9 o'clock, I took a look at this ticker, and all I saw right away was this tightening range. 70, 739, 707, 733, 713, and I think it was 905 or so where I actually looked at this chart. And at that point, all you could see is that tightening range. So I alerted the room. I said, look, we got a 5-minute EQ, may have been a 15-minute EQ. I don't remember my exact message, but it was all about 725 and then 713. So that was the last range that we had on our EQ. So what's our 905 candles right there. So looking at this, you see that tightening range, and you know one of these levels is going to break. So you're watching for volume. And then we see that come into play. We lose 713, our volume picks up. We go all the way down, establish a support at 694. So a very, very short, quick trade, but a good execution and a good representation of a 5-minute EQ. So TEVA was a really nice one today. And you'll notice that a lot of these that we cover, we're all looking for similar patterns. EQs are probably the easiest and least complicated pattern to trade and have very, very conclusive results. And they're just fantastic and easy to identify. So let's go look at another trade today. So last trade we had I have to share with you today is on SPY, a 5-minute time frame. And we had a little bit of chop early this morning. We saw a big low down at 290.35, a high at 292.36, and then we started to get a tightening range, and that was what I was watching. And right around 950 or so, I was looking at this chart, and I said, you know what, we got pretty close to a double bottom here, so I'm going to call this 291.36 as an area of support. We didn't quite get there on this last doji candlestick before we saw the bounce, and I think it was right in this green candle that I was looking at this pattern. And I'm saying, look, we got double bottom, we got lower highs. This is indicative of a tightening range, a possible descending triangle pattern. And what we can do is go ahead and draw in our levels like that. So I'm not sure, I think I've got the actual chart over here that I used, but I wanted to reconstruct that for you. So we can see that we have that range. We go back to early pre-market action. We see that trend coming into play again. So that just adds a little bit of validity to it. Then what happens? We don't get a high. We see this 5-minute downtrend remain in place. We needed the bulls to get over 291.98 for that to break, or after the pullback from this level, 291.85, we needed to see the bulls resurge their strength and take that level out. Instead, we saw a breakdown. We lost that 291.36 support. We saw volume pick up, and that really set the trend for the remainder of the day that is still being played out. We can see us bouncing off this EMA 12 and 26 consistently, setting those 5-minute lower highs. So this was the pattern to be watching. Awesome opportunity if you're playing SPY options or leverage ETFs. It's all about watching those 5-minute bulls and bears battle it out, looking for those patterns, looking for those key levels. And that's all I'm going to do today. If you want to learn how to do this, this is what we want to do, and this is what we do in Chart Guys. We teach technical analysis, we teach ways to interpret the charts, and the best part about it is we have that community that does the same thing. Literally 1,000 people watching the charts, sharing trade setups, and talking and learning together. That's what it's all about. If this video was helpful and you like this sort of thing, I'll keep track of all of the cool trades that we do during the day. I'll pick a few like I have here, and we'll share them, we'll talk about them, and feel free to post comments if you have questions or need some clarification, and we'll just talk about some charts. Thanks for watching.